Edinboro brings out Dave Rowan, senior from Madison, Ohio, record of 30-2. His opponent for Lehigh down at 118 again, also down at 118 for the Oklahoma State match. Noel Clavel, freshman from Blairstown, New Jersey, 8-14-1. And now the voice of Lehigh wrestling for 19 consecutive seasons, Larry Sheridan. Larry?
Okay, we've got the #2 man in the nation representing the Scots from Edinboro. He placed 4th in the Nationals last year. Coming in here with an outstanding record, 30-2. Had been out for a while, but a lot of people from Lehigh thought Brett Porter was going to wrestle, and because the advanced press notices had Rowan out. But Rowan's back, and with him back in the lineup, it certainly makes it difficult for Lehigh to pull off a victory here tonight. He's a tough competitor. I'm not selling Noel Clavel out, but when you get Rowan's a senior, Clavel's a freshman, and again, I point out that it's experience as well as a man placing 4th in the Nationals. He's also ranked 2nd in the country. Very quiet tonight. There's a lot of prep school kids in the audience. Noel Clavel got a pretty good ovation from his Blair Academy following, which is in the audience, because prior to the wrestle meet, they had the 53rd National Prep School Championships. We so watched the finals. Some good wrestling, wasn't it, Marv?
Yeah, that, Larry, there were some very, very strong matches. Some of these postgraduates, equivalent of college freshmen.
And, of course, Blair Academy, I think for the 7th straight time, won the post-grad division. And, of course, the headmaster at Blair Academy, friend of both you and Shell, I guess a classmate, Jim Kelly.
One of the class guys in education today.
And were you there with you, Shell? You didn't say anything.
I was just concentrating. I just marvel at Mr. Walenzik's depth of recollection. He remembers everybody back from that class in 1940.
The winner for the undergraduate, in other words, a non-postgrad team, was Bullis School. They're down out of Potomac, Maryland, and coached by a former Lehigh football player who never wrestled while he was at Lehigh, Walt King, but he's done a tremendous job at Bullis School, and their team won. And so our congratulations to Bullis School and to the Blair Academy. And as Clavel gets warned for stalling, a takedown goes to Dave Rowan. He now leads by 2 with 1:05 remaining in the first period.
This is only the second time that Lehigh and Edinboro has met. The first dual meet right here at Lehigh. They met for the first time last year. Edinboro won by a score of 37-14, and last year Dave Rowan, gentleman on the mat here, pinned Ed Regan. Ed will be up at 126 this evening.
Well, he's working off a half Nelson and the far wrist, just snapping, trying to work some combination. Clavel's rolling, but Rowan follows very easily. They're near the edge of the mat, and there's 33 seconds left in the first period.
Last year in the Lehigh-Edinboro match, Lehigh won only 3. We'll take a look at the first takedown, this one executed by Dave Rowan.
Just snaps, he felt Clavel pushing forward and ducked down underneath and went after the single.
Lehigh won 2 matches last year against Edinboro. Jim Frick won at 134. Derek Brophy won at 177. Peter Yazzo and Sean O'Day drew last year at 142.
Clavel takes the stance and then takes the shoulder roll, breaks free for an escape, and it's 2-1 on the board with 10 seconds left in the first period. And that's the end of the first period, 2-1 the score. Dave Rowan of Edinboro leading.
Larry, Noah Clavel looked very good against in the Oklahoma State match. He also wrestled a nationally ranked wrestler. He himself well.
I would say with his record 8-14, the 14, about half of them are in the top 5, at least the top 7 of the country.
I think he's at the weight where he should be. I think he's a much more effective wrestler. At 26, he's trying to muscle people too much and throw them.
Yeah, this is his second time down at 118, so you get some good feel for it heading off to the EIWA tournament. But again, the silence is deafening in this place tonight. It's like an anticipation of a bomb going off. Everybody's sitting around waiting. They know that Rowan's tough, and the old guard is here. We may not have the new following, the new camp following, but the old timers still come out here and probably about 2,000 here tonight. And another single leg, but now he's got the takedown as Clavel rolls, but Rowan follows.
And it's 4-1 lead for Dave Rowan as they go off with 1:14 to go in the second period. Take a look at the second takedown by Dave Rowan.
He's on his knees. He ducks under off the knees. He catches him off balance. As you could see, that Clavel was really just falling away. He was off balance and pursuit. Clavel tries to shoulder roll again, but Rowan's right there. Edinboro, a small school in campus size, but population about 6,500 students. It's located about 30 miles due south of Erie, Pennsylvania. Coached by great Iowa grappler, Mike Deanna. It was funny. I had Deanna as a national champion, but he got to the finals twice, but never won.
Never
it was
won
2
it.
seconds and a third.
That's right.
Because I saw them there so often, I figured he had to win.
He was Iowa class of '81, and this is his 4th year coaching at Edinboro.
In on that leg and following up, but no takedown so far. They're near the edge. They're fighting. Neutral.
40 seconds to go.
Well, I was glad
4-2 lead.
I was glad, Marv, that Gene Michael didn't penalize him for a point. I've seen referees in that situation at the edge of the mat, and the guy's pulling and pulling to get away, and they say you run off the mat. And my theory is, where else are you going to go to get away?
Yeah, they don't give you very much opportunity to try the things you could try in the middle of the mat.
Yeah.
They demand that you come back into the wrestler, which is literally going back into the disadvantage.
And there's another takedown, and it's his third takedown. The score 6-2 with 23 seconds left. Coming up next is Ed Regan. Regan, I'll get it right. He'll be up at 126 because Lehigh's John Epperly is injured. A lot of great news going into the Easterns with Epperly out. Frick coming back in.
And Solomon Fleckman will be
out.
missing action tonight with a ligament injury, but talking to the Lehigh trainer, he could have wrestled this evening. But Thad said that he would prefer to rest him for the Easterns.
Rowan just floating nicely, picked up over a minute and a half time advantage as the second period is about to end.
Period end, 6-2 lead for Dave Rowan. 30 wins and 2 losses this season. Here is the third takedown coming up.
He just sweeps up that single, and he goes working off the leg trip, and he would watch the trap. There it is, bang. That was done with a pretty good hammer at the back of the heel. It's almost like a 9-iron shot into the trap.
6-3 lead now as 3 takedowns for Dave Rowan of Edinboro, 3 escapes for Noel Clavel of Lehigh.
Ooh.
And
Boy.
heads clunk.
They sure did.
Well, you could hear that one all the way up here without benefit of microphone. And we must be about 90 feet off the mat.
In football, they say you can hear the pads crack.
They just did it again. You keep doing that. It reminds me of that beer ad.
There's only a minute and a half to go, and Clavel has kept the margin very respectable at this point.
Now Rowan
puts a half
quick
in.
shrug, comes around, leads 8-3. He's also got riding time assured, so he's got another point on the board. He's short of the major decision right now.
I tell you, Shell, I watched with pure enjoyment the Iowa State meet that was offered on Channel 39, and with Iowa winning, was it 15-13, something like that. They won by 2 points. But what I enjoyed was when Jerry Lehman was here, what we called a shrug, he called a shuck, which is a term that you do with corn out in Iowa. And the announcers out there, every time it was a shrug, they called it a shuck. And I thought, well, when you handle that much corn, I guess you can call it. He shucked them.
We have our own wrestling vocabulary.
Yeah.
Chuck Collins had the famous chicken wing.
But Jerry Lehman was always saying he's shucking them. I says, no, Jerry. It's a shrug. Same thing.
45 seconds to go in the third and final period. 8-4 lead. Dave Rowan.
Guaranteed point for time. I was also interested in the terminology that was used by our fellow announcers out there. that when the time advantage is up on the board and the guy has, there's a pin coming up, as he caught him on a shoulder roll. Clavel started his roll with 20 seconds left.
He's been sitting and waiting for that the whole
trapped
time.
him.
Absolutely. He knew it was going to, Clavel was going to do it.
Noel does a shoulder roll, and he got stopped, and it's 13-4 on the board, plus tie be 14-4. Again, into a deep half with 5 seconds to go. He's really got him deep. Got a 3-point near fall, and that should make it 17-4, and to get a 4-point major decision.
So Dave Rowan, who actually was fairly close in most of that match to Noah Clavel, piled down about 8 points in the final 45 seconds to get the major decision and give the Scots a 4-0 lead over Lehigh at the end of 118.